was trying to make sure that I had this tilted down just because I want you to be able to see the workstation. And if it cuts my head off, well, then it cuts my head off, but it didn't cut my head off. Thank you. Keto for real life people here. And I am so super excited. Like, if you were on my Facebook last night, you saw that I had posted, ooh, I got little puffy things. I worked on everything I could do. But this holiday season, I was inspired by a famous recipe that y'all have probably seen floating around there. It is, I think it's like a Pillsbury crescent dough that you pop open and shape into a triangle, then you put stuff in it, and then you shape it into a Christmas tree. And I'm telling you all, I wanted that so badly. I was like, I've got to figure out how to make it. Well, somebody said, well, could you use miracle dough? And I thought, I don't know if I could, because it is flat and it's not puffy and it's not tender. I mean, come on now. It's great for pizza crusts and tortillas, but it wasn't going to do exactly what I wanted it to do. So I did 3 attempts last night. I failed all 3 attempts last night. And then I woke up this morning, had my coffee, and said, all right, let's get in the kitchen. So I did. And all of a sudden my brain went click, click, click. And it was just like a little combination of this and that. Similar to miracle dough, not quite miracle dough. It's got too many ingredients for 4 ingredients, you know. But it's easy, guys. It's delicious. I love those 2 combinations. Anything easy and delicious is good. And you might see like all of this stuff that I've got going on here, but you know what? I have to make this live, and then we've got to wait for it to bake. So I thought, well, what can I do in between? So let's get started, y'all. We do have the ingredients. Now I'm going to be using lupin flour today as per my norm, but I'm using quite a bit more than you normally would for miracle dough. I've got baking powder to give some rise and tenderness and puff to our bread. Also adding tenderness to it is a little bit of flaxseed, no psyllium husk today. The other thing that we are doing is egg. We've got egg for it. It's also going to help it have some tenderness, and it'll also help give it a little bit of lift. And then I've got my cream cheese and my mozzarella cheese, because if I didn't forget something, then I don't know if it'd be me for real. So that's all there is to it. Now I do have seasonings. I forgot to mention those, so we'll talk about those. In the seasoning, I put this in my dough. You don't have to, but I think you should if you want like a savory bread pull apart. This pull apart, even though I'm going to do it in the shape of a Christmas tree, can be used all year long for any occasion. So if you just want to make a pull apart cheesy bread, something for the football game, or who watches football? Not me, but you know, for those who do, that's a great tailgater type of thing. Or if you're just going to a Christmas party or an event and you need to take an appetizer, this I think is going to be very, very important to you. I mean, it's going to be one of your like, oh, this is so easy, I can make this, I love it. So now one difference, in my miracle dough recipe, everything is measured out with measuring cups and teaspoons. For this, I wanted to be a little bit more precise, because when you're making a dough, you want to use somewhere between 1 and 2 cups of regular flour. And every time I try to back that lupin down a bit, it's not quite as good. So I upped the lupin and I used a scale. So I have a scale to measure my flaxseed and my lupin flour. Other than that, everything's good for go. Let's see here. I do have laptop right here. It is so excited. Hey Deanna, I see you, and Lisa. I'm so happy to see y'all here. I'm not going to mess with that a whole bunch until we get this going. So, ready? Here we go. Let's start with the cheese so I can get rid of the bag, because I want to clear a workspace where I'll need my rolling pin. So, on the cheese, don't pack the cup, okay? I like to stick my cup down in the bag, and I just kind of drop it in there until it hits that full mark. I'm not pushing the cheese down in here. I have seen comments where people will be like, mine is just too much, it won't do it. Well, don't pack your cheese, you just want to get 2 cups worth. And the procedure of putting this pull apart together is just a little different than I normally do as well. So it's a different recipe, that's why, okay? So let's get the second cup in there. And it's right there. Set that there. Let's keep it efficient as we go. Next up, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. That's pretty norm when we're doing some keto style breads. Y'all, I tried keto bread last night every which way you could think of. The first one was kind of promising, but it just didn't do it for me. All right, so this is gonna go into the microwave. We're gonna do it 1 minute. I have an 1100 watt microwave, so it's about 1.5 minutes for me. If your power wattage on your microwave is, 1,000, 900, 800, it's gonna take longer. So according to microwave directions, do what your microwave does. It might take 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. But I'm gonna do this, and I just moved my microwave on my cart over here so I didn't have to get out of the screen there. And I'm gonna hit 1 minute. And then I'm just going to add 30 seconds to it. And then I have my little scale here. It's a digital scale. I love it because I can turn it on. I've got it set to grams, which, it does make it really a lot more precise. And you will find that if you weigh your flours, and I don't always, but when you weigh, you get more consistent results. I mean, over and over, you'll get that same thing that you want versus packing it in a measuring cup, and some days it might be too loose, it might be too tight, it might be humid and heavy. You just don't know. So I'm going to hit the tare button. We're going to go down to 0. I'm going to grab my Lupin flour with my other arm. This one's not wanting to cooperate today. And I think it is at, what do I have, 65 grams. That's quite a bit more. And you don't have to scoop it. You can just use a spoon and start putting it in. There's 25. 45, 61, 66, 65 grams. Then we're going to come over and I think it's 20 grams of flaxseed. This really does add some flavor and depth to it as well, y'all. I just said, hey, let's try flax instead of psyllium. So we're going to add 20 grams to that and bring it up to 85. Hush. Hush. 85. So we'll do that right there. I'm going to pull this out and not push my microwave off of the cart because, hey, and you can see in this bowl, it is all melted. Where's that spoon? I just had it. And you're going to give this a nice stir and blend your melted mozzarella and your cream cheese together so that they blend out. All right, and then over here, we're going to go ahead and get 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I use a double acting baking powder. It seems to have a nice rise on it. I use the Bob's Red Meal, and it is just, I find it's actually better. I use the canned stuff. Whoop, I almost put that in the wrong one. That would have been perfect, Nancy, wouldn't have? Oh, she did it wrong again. So get that in there, and then I already have all my seasoning out, so that's awesome. Snap on there, snap on, snap off. And here I have 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground rosemary, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and some ground black pepper. You do the seasoning up however you want it, but then we're just going to take all of that and put it in there. And we're going to start stirring to combine it. And you're just, it's going to look like this messiness, like it's not going to, but what I do, once I get that initial on there, then it kind of cools it enough so that I can crack my egg into this as well. throw that away. And I just start mixing this, and I mix this in with the egg and the moisture from the egg with the moisture from the cheese really allows you to get the flours all worked in, and it's not as hot as you think. It's a little stickier than normal, I will tell you that, because when I'm working with psyllium husk, and I'm working with the lupin flour, it's not as sticky, but the egg in this and the flaxseed. So now it's coming together as a ball. I'm kind of just working it around the edges of the bowl because I want to make sure I get all those flours in there. Oh, that's rosemary. I was like, oh, there's a little twig. I use my own. And then we're going to just take this, set it to the side. I'm going to rinse my hands. It is really crusty, you know. You just get really... I think that was the most difficult part of this whole thing, was just combining it. We'll put away the measure or the scale, and we'll give ourselves some space here. Don't need this spoon. I do need this knife, so I'll leave it there. Now, you do want to use some parchment paper. I've got 2 sheets. It just makes for easy cleanup too, y'all. So I'm going to take one, and I'm going to pop this dough. And you can see that it's just kind of, it's not perfect by any means as far as smooth yet, but I am going to just work it together a little bit so that it's just all together. And then we're going to put it between 2 pieces of paper, and we're going to roll it. I wish I could roll in a nice perfect rectangle, but alas, it doesn't do that. There we go. Get your rolling pin, and you just start in the middle, go this direction, come back this way. Do that a couple times, give it a turn. Move this out of my way as well. And back and forth. And you want this to be about 1/8 of an inch thick. You don't want it to be too thick. It peels off really easy. And you can feel it with your hand. Like here, I got a little heavy. This is a really heavy rolling pin. So I'm going to actually push this towards that a little bit so that it evens out a little bit more. My paper. And then this way. How's everybody doing so far? Getting ready for Christmas? I can feel that is about, oh, it's still a little thick. I'm going to push it this way. I don't want it to go off my paper. Thinner here, thicker here. So I'm going to push. You do need to kind of, you know, work at it really quick. But here's the thing. Now, when I made this earlier today, guys, I did not make a gigantic triangle. I guess I would call it a triangle for 2. I did 2 triangles. Okay, let me set this over here. And you can see, it's got some swirlies in it. And I've got a paper lined baking sheet. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a knife, and you can just freestyle this. My paper on the bottom all crumpled up. So you want to get 2 triangles, all right, so that you can do a bottom layer and a top layer. So what I did was I just kind of went at it like this. And then, oh, that's about the same there. And I guess I do like this and come back. So I'm going to make, I guess, a little bit bigger triangle like that. You see here? Now it's not straight on the bottom yet, but that's all right. You just want to lay it on your pan and then test the other one to make sure. Whichever side is biggest, put on the bottom. And these are pretty, ooh, that did pretty darn good. I think this one is slightly bigger, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. Okay. How easy is this? Okay. Do not throw away your extra dough because we got stuff to do with it. Now then, at this point, you can put whatever cheese in it that you would like. Okay. For the sake of what I have on hand, I'm just using mozzarella cheese. You can add some seasoning if I got the hiccups. Just lay it right there down the middle. Just like so. Just bring a little here. Kind of it's just like your Christmas tree. You're just frosting it basically. Don't worry about the little extra cheeses. And I'm going to add just a pinch on the bottom side here. So you got a layer of cheese. Okay. If you want to spice it up, if you want to sprinkle it with some garlic powder, if you want to add some Italian seasoning, if you want to put some spinach in there, you're more than welcome to do any of that. But for the sake of the basic cheesy bread, this is what I'm doing, y'all. Now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to line it right over the top, just like so. And then I'm going to take my knife, seeing as how I can see where my base is, and I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to move this for now so I have room to work. I'll put that right there. Now my oven is set at 350 degrees. I'm going to be using the center rack. This is going to be going in for about 20 minutes. 20 minutos. So what I'm going to do to kick this up a little bit is I'm going to start now. I screwed it up earlier. Pardon my French, but I did. I did not leave enough room at the top for my twisties. So basically what you want to do is, if you want, you can draw one center line, because you do not want to cut all the way to the middle. You just want to leave a center piece uncut and then just start making little cuts like so. And I go all the way to the center line because I'm a nerd. Probably about a ½ inch apart until you get to the top. And then turn your pan. Repeat. Leave yourself a little space in the middle. Just like so. I did it on that same cut. Right there. Just leave a little piece. So that's your branch, your center. And then here. And then you're not really going to twist those ones. Now at this point, I'm using my hand because for the life of me, I cannot find my brush. But I have 1 egg and just about a teaspoon or 2 of water in it. I just eyeballed it. Okay. And I'm going to give a little wash on top. That's going to add some shine to it. My earlier one I did it, and I thought that would have added some extra, little extra to it. So I'm just doing it that way. All right. Set that aside. Rinse off my hands. Dry off my hands. Now you could season this any way you want to. I've decided to go with everything bagel because I love anything everything bagel. Anything everything. If you get my drift. So let's go on the shaker side. And this will help that. The egg wash will help it stick. And it just gives some extra flavor to it. Now you just take your bottom piece and you just kind of stand it up. And if you can pinch your end a little bit, just stand it, twist it so that it's upright, and give it a turn. And it might feel a little resistant, but you're bigger and better than that. So just keep going. Do this side, lift and twist. Pull it towards yourself. Pinch the end, twist, and twist. Now, I'm telling you all that right now, this thing is stone cold already. So, it's not like you're going to burn yourself. But keep twisting. You'll see the little cheesiness. And work your way up on either side. I'm so pleased with this morning. It was so good. Melissa, and I didn't make one quite this big. It was probably about 2 branches smaller from the bottom. So then you can, if you can get one little twist here, good. If not, you're not going to mess with your top one. It's just going to lay there. It's just going to lay there and look pretty. Just like that, you guys. And if you want to give it a little extra sprinkle so that it hits the cheese, like I'm going to do, just do it. And then into the oven it goes. I want to show you guys. Look at that. It's pretty even just like that. It's pretty. But we're going to pop it in there. Ooh. And I'm going to hit my timer. I'm going to hit 30 on this, okay? And then I'll check it in 10 because honestly, that's the one part I did this morning that I don't remember whether it was 20 or 30. I just know that it was at 350 and it was between 20 and 30 minutes. When it's nice, deep golden brown, you can pull it out and you'll be good to go. Now, the fun thing about a pull apart is that you can, you know, pull it apart and then dip it into something. So I thought, well, that's what we'll work on. This morning I did just simple butter. So however much you want, if you just want to make the whole thing butter, do it. But I've got about 3 tablespoons of butter. I've got a clove of garlic, and I'm gonna flatten it down with my knife, and I'm gonna just run my knife through it and mince it. Okay, and just get that all chopped. If you want more garlic, you can add more garlic, but this is one of my favorite things. You know, I'm not a fan of pizza, never have been, but I was a huge fan of things like cheesy bread, or breadsticks where you could dip. I loved it. Or going to Johnny Carino's, or I'm not a huge fan of Olive Garden, never have, but I loved going to Johnny Carino's just so I could eat bread with olive oil and garlic. That was my thing. So you get to do it again. These are nice big heads of our cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to pop that there into the microwave, and you have got a quick garlic butter. Healthy fats, y'all. None of that fake fat BS that they want to give us. If you want, add a little bit of extra salt, which I like a little extra. If you want to add a little red pepper, you can, but I like garlic and butter. And we will have that one all ready. You can also add more of that everything seasoning bagel because it has all that toasted, roasted garlic in it. But we'll save that. So we're going to do another dish here. I guess I'll put that in there and save this. I've got some pizza oil. It is just olive oil with crushed red peppers, and you just give it a shake. This is the throwback to the Italian restaurant where you get a plate of oil with your bread and just put a little oil. Again, healthy fat. Shush. And here's where I get my little spoon. It doesn't matter, do it to taste. But I kind of take that garlic, all of that roasted garlic, and it's got a little bit of poppy seed in there. I wish they'd leave that out because it doesn't really add any flavor. In my opinion. In my opinion, I'm going to give this a little stir and let that kind of meld with the flavors. So there's one dipping sauce. Here, I'm going to give that a little taste. I love me some garlic and some butter. Quite honestly, I could just eat butter and garlic by itself. Cece, hi, happy holidays. Love your recipes. Thanks for another one to try. Hey, Susan. I see y'all there, Tony. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, I'm gonna set this out of the way. All right, real quick, I want to show y'all something. I told you, I said this dough over here. Let me turn this on for you. Get that hot, this oil hot. So, this morning the Christmas tree was not as big, and it gave me an opportunity to make a bunch of crackers. And I don't know if you can hear, like, these are hard as rocks. Can you hear that? If you can hear that, comment. I'd love to know if you could hear that. So I used this cute little round ruffled edged cookie cutter that I have, and I took my dough and I guess I could just leave it on the paper. I didn't want to waste it. Now you can make tortillas with extra. You can do whatever, wraps. There's so many things, but I adore crackers. That's just one of the things that I love. So I just took this and I just popped them out like so. And once the dough was all perforated, I rolled it in a ball and I popped it back in the microwave for a few more seconds. Got it hot again, rolled it back out, and I got quite a few crackers today. I'm not doing that today because we've got some cooked and we've got some made. So now I did do it 2 ways. All right, let me move this up over here and out of the way, because we ain't gonna waste it. I'll use it up in a little bit. So the thing with these crackers, these were from the oven. I used a skewer, which I call my Texas-sized toothpick. I think it's hilarious. My husband just looks at me like, it's not even funny. I don't care. It's funny to me. And I just popped, and I really just ran it through so I had nice clean holes. I ran it through about 3 times, just like that. That way it didn't puff up as much when they were in the oven. These little babies baked at 350 degrees on a parchment sheet for 20 minutes. That one I do know because I did it for 10 minutes and they were soft. So if you wanted a softer little biscuit style, then that would be fine, but I went 20 minutes. And I will tell you that I think they are crunchy hard. Like, they've been sitting out all day. They're not quite as crunchy when they first come out of the oven, but once they cool down, they are tough as nails. And if I break them open, you can see a little light color in the middle still. They're not flaky and light, they're just crunchy, hard things that you can use. And I still say that the Sims was like, they're not bad. I was like, yeah, but they're not anything to write home about either. And they're like, why are you sharing with us and Nancy? Jeez. Well, because what I did like is that you could brush these, you could season them. I did not have salt in my earlier recipe. I added salt this time. The other thing that I did, let's see if that's hot. Yes, it is I pulled out and put some oil in a skillet, and I popped these in there to see how they would do frying, because my miracle dough, sometimes it fries well, sometimes it doesn't. So those are frying. These little bad boys are delicious. Then you get the light crispy crunchy versus hard and crunchy and dense. But it's totally up to you how you want to do it. I just wanted to give you a couple of options so that if you have dough left, or if you make this version of this dough up, you can definitely fry it. And I'm looking at this version of dough to see if I can make it a little sweeter. Here. They're just already puffed up and they're already turning light around the edges. You want to kind of flip them once they go golden brown, then you can see, and then you give them a little flip. Linda said, yay. Lisa, yay, yay. Loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you, Cece. Aw, thank you, pretty tree. Thank you. That's my little countertop tree. I've got my home tree is just right there. My living room is right here. So that's my break between my kitchen and my living room. It's my living room or kitchen tree. So let me check these. So they're golden around the edges, and I'm just gonna flip them, and they do poof, even though I put holes in them. But they're prettier in color. I'm gonna show you all the difference. For real. For real. This, what is the name of that song, Miss Jackson? This is for real. I like the fried better. They have the fat tastes wonderful, by the way, in this. It's just avocado oil, but that fried fattiness is delicious on it. And then it kind of poofs and makes a little hollow crisp in the inside. I'm like, You just don't want to overdo them, but I don't want to underdo them either. Looks like it's done. We'll call it done. It's done. Beep. They be done. I'm gonna move this off of here for y'all. Hey, ouch! That's hot from the oven being on. So at this point, y'all, you could just take a little salt. Oh my oven. While it's hot and has oil on it, give it a little spray of salt. If you wanted to do garlic powder, you could just give a little shush. Whatever you want. Whatever seasoning you want. If you had sour cream powder, which I do, I just didn't think of it until this second. Now these are super hot, so I'm going to give it a minute. But look at the difference of these crackers versus these crackers, because I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm going to come around. Oh, there goes my book. Hi, hello, how are you? All right, so look at this. It's puffy, and this is kind of dark, kind of, well, it's inconsistent in the roll, but it is whereas even when these first come out, the cooler they get, they're just nice, light, crispy, everything. And then when you do this, oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh my goodness. So that lets you do a little something with extra dough. And just think about it. If you're doing a pull-apart and you're doing different dips that you can dip it in and entertain with, why not go ahead and just do some of the dough up, and then you could have a little bowl of crackers on the side just for extra dipping or topping. So you get to kind of do two things at once. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Thank you. It's very, 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 very tasty. All right, another thing out of my way. So we will, set that back there. We'll just set it back there. All righty. Okay, onward and upward. So I've got some olive oil with some chili peppers and some garlic. I've got garlic butter for dipping, which is muy bueno. And then last but not least, oh my God, I'm gonna do just like impromptu. I mean, I already had it in my head, but I didn't know exactly how I was gonna do it. So I've got some cream cheese here. Got a little bit of mayonnaise. You'll catch on really quick. I have some artichoke hearts. I have garlic and shallots. I was out of lemon, so I got a lemon packet. And then salt and pepper, of course. Some red chili pepper flakes. And even a little bit of spinach. So what I'm going to do is combine the, let me get rid of this one. Grab this this one. And you just want to take your cream cheese. I guess I'm going to pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. It's already room temperature, but I want it to be even smoother. I'll do 20 seconds. Again, powerful microwave. You do whatever your microwave says. Because I want it to be very, very creamy. And it started popping. So, I'm going to mix about 3 ounces of cream cheese with about 3 tablespoons of mayo till it's nice and creamy and smooth. Smooth enough anyway. And I maybe should have got a bigger bowl. Maybe. We'll see. If I need a bigger bowl, I get it. And then, now these garlic, I just got this garlic yesterday. My son-in-law brought it to me. Oh, I tell you, they're big old fat, beautiful cloves. I'm gonna just, again, flatten it down. You can do a flat smear if you want, but these are so big. I just want to flatten it, and I really want to mince it. I adore it. Come back this way. Keep your knife on the cutting board when you're doing this. Keep your fingers free from being chopped off. Slide, slide, scrape, and one more run through. Una más pass through, please. All right, into the bowl. Then I got some shallots. I was at the store and they had some there, and I was like, you know, I haven't had them in a while. And they're nice and mild. They're small, they offer a lot of flavor, and you don't have to cut up a whole onion. So I've got a shallot, and I'm going to do the same thing with it, really, that I did, probably not so small, as I did to the garlic. I'm going to give it some chops, and then some rough passes. I felt my nose run, though. It's got a little something to it. Swash pass, and then run it through. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to taste good. Alright. And into that we go. Now I'm going to take a little bit of spinach, and you don't need a lot, because I'm just making it enough. Oh, excuse me, but my nose. When I did the stuffed mushrooms the other day, that was delicious mixture, but I'm telling you, I only needed a very, very small portion of that meat to stuff those mushrooms. So I readjusted my website to reflect a pan of them versus a whole bunch of meat, because you're going to have like 2/3 of a pound of meat left over. So with that train of thought going on, I was like, you know, we're keto. Now I'm going to leave this like julienne. You see how pretty that is? And I'm just going to throw that in there really quick. And then I'm going to take some of these canned artichoke hearts. I got them because, and I'm rough chopping these. If there's a toughness piece, then just pull it out. But I'm rough chopping these. I want them to have something left. I got them because they were packed in water, number one. I looked at the jar. I always, you know, I haven't bought them in so long. And I hadn't really thought about what type of fat they pack these in. And sure enough, they pack it in vegetable oil. So I was like, no, I think I'll just get water and then I'll just put it in fat. So here we go. We probably have about a 1/4 cup of diced artichoke hearts to go with that spinach. I'm also going to give it just a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I mean, I didn't look up a recipe. This is the way I rock and roll in my kitchen, y'all. I'm like, oh, I got a taste for something. I don't care how I get about it as long as that flavor comes through, you know? You cannot be a food addict and not be able to satisfy your cravings in a healthy way. So we're going to give this a stir. I do want to add a little bit of my pepper flakes. Just a pinch. So pretty. It's so pretty. I say that all the time, don't I? A pinch of salt and pepper to taste. There we go. Now then, I'm going to give this a little stir. I probably should have got a bigger bowl. Did I mention that earlier? I mean, it's pretty as is, but if we pop it in the microwave, or if you were to put this in a like ramekins or a small casserole, you could pop it in the oven too and let it bake right alongside your pull apart. One of the videos that I had seen actually used a mixture like this to stuff the tree with. And I thought about it, but I haven't given it a try. I don't know how all of this wetness will react in my bread. So I didn't want to do it until I tested it myself. But if it holds up to it, it's going to be so amazing. Then you could just mix this, put it in that, and then do your little twists up with this wonderful artichoke spinach dip. Let me give a taste here. That's pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to add lemon juice or not because, well, it might make it a little brighter. I'll add a little bit. I added half. Just a little lemon. And then we're going to pop this into the microwave. Just, that's how quick and easy it can be, y'all. You don't have to overdo it. And I'm constantly licking my fingers, so don't mind me, it's my house. Oh, that did add a bunch of good flavor to it. All right, let's pop this in the microwave. I'm gonna try a minute and a half, and then I'll check it because you just want it to be all melted together. The heat from the cheese will take the spinach down and kind of cook it. You notice that I'm using the back of my knife to kind of scrape my board. Never use the blade of your knife to scrape your boards when you're trying to clean stuff up. You will dull your blade, but you can use the back of it and make a nice little scraper. I'll throw that away. Take a peek. Oh goodness. 8 minutes. Yep, it was 20, y'all, not 30. I'm glad I'm looking here. Jesus. And a partridge in a pear tree. Alright, let me get my other hot mitt. It's so pretty and so puffy and so just beautiful. Let's take a look, y'all. Let's take a look. What do you think? Is that beautiful? I want to hold it so that I can really show you guys. Now you could do a pretty party platter. I wish I had room and space and time. Just time for all of that. I think the only Christmas plates that I have out of storage are these little pretties, but they would be of nice serving. So we'll use it. Get my hot pad back for this little hot bowl. And I will tell you, if I was just me not doing a live, I would really prefer to bake this. Just because I like how it turns gold, and I think flavors are developed the longer, you know, when it takes a little time. So, I'm gonna get my spatula and just give this a stir. Oh, it looks so good though. So pretty, and I have so many dishes. You can see the fat from the mayonnaise kind of sliding around this. Maybe I could have used a tablespoon less. But here we go, guys. You might need your knife because it looked like it baked a little bit through. Yeah, it baked a little bit through. Put it down. And just go through and kind of separate your pieces where they kind of bake together. I want this off of this pan. Voila! Voila! Can you guys, you can't even see it, can you? You poor babies. Oh. Remove that. Remove that. And that. And get this turned around so that maybe you might be able to see that right there. And I'll set this behind me. But yes, you can just now take and loosen these here and make sure that they're separated before your guests get there. Or you could use a pizza cutter if you like. And see how you can just pull it apart. Oh my goodness. I want you to see this. Do you see the beautiful texture? It's puffy, it's lovely. Oh, it's cheesy. Yeah. My only dilemma is, what do I want on it? Dip? We'll try. Just for you guys, I'll try it. Okay? I'm gonna blow it. So good. Double dip? Why, yes, I will. I'll try now the little garlic and butter. My favorite. Always my favorite. Always. You guys are gonna love this. And then last but not least, we've got the everything bagel seasoning with some olive oil and some garlic and some pepper flakes. Just don't dip any oil on you. So you'll be like, I think that is just lovely. Now, I want to see here what I think about the egg wash. I'm not sure. I'm already able to pick this up. I'm going to bring it to you. It's hot, but it's not too killing me hot. See how golden it is? Just lovely, y'all. I'm pleased. I'm so pleased. Now I have to get myself busy and get on the computer and write it all down for you. I've given you instructions, and if you followed along, you could write it down throughout this video. I just got the mushrooms up and running. I thought I had hit publish, but I didn't. It was on draft, so I did hit the publish button for that last week's video. But you guys, what'd you think? What'd you think? Does it look delicious? Looks amazing. Let's see here. Now we'll ask if anybody has any questions or comments. I'll take a look. Huh, amazing. Just one. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, y'all. It's 100% keto. It's delicious. It's wonderful for a party. If you're more creative, look at the cheese. I mean, it's stringing, and it is a meal. You could put pizza dough. You could put pizza sauce in this. You could make it festive, and the dough and the texture of this is completely different, I think, than miracle dough. Yes, it has mozzarella cheese and cream cheese and lupin flour, but I think the addition of the additional lupin flour, flaxseed instead of psyllium husk, and an egg, plus all these seasonings, plus baking powder, really ramp this up to next level. And yeah, it's delicious. Totally. Guess what? I don't even need to eat dinner tonight because this morning I was in the kitchen by 8:30 a.m. And it was done by like 9 something. I was done, and my daughter was home, and we just kind of devoured it. It was not, like I said, it was probably only about this big, and full all day long. Just it's high protein, super high protein, super high fiber, very little fat. So make sure you have plenty of fatty dip-in sauces for it, or fat toppings. And I haven't ate anything all day until here I am again, and I'm already getting full. It's just that filling. So yummy. All right, guys, that's this week's live tutorial. Thank you so much. If you find value in this video, please do me a favor and make sure you hit the like button on it, and if you can, share it. If you're not a member and you would like to find help me keep doing keto, become a club member and be on the lookout for the community page. I appreciate you all. Remember, fats first, moderate protein, low carb, and get you some, y'all. I mean, for real, like, get some of that because it's so damn good.